Thanks so much for joining us here on this beautiful Thursday at noon. Beautiful blue skies around you there, Matthew Willoughby, talking about the chances for rain. You said not in the forecast for a number of days.
I mean, absolutely not. We're good the rest of the week, and we're going to continue that dry weather and those beautiful blue skies for some nice fall weather outside for us. As I give you a look from Jeffersonville looking towards downtown, you can tell those gorgeous conditions just around the lunch hour. Those current temperatures right now just into the 60s, so pretty cool outside. Just into the mid 60s in Louisville, lower 60s in LaGrange, Madison at 61 degrees. So further even into southern Indiana, we got some temperatures even into the upper 50s still just around 12 o'clock hour. Looking at those weather headlines today, still going to be much cooler, but we have a nice and sunny weekend in store for you with some nice fall weather on the way. And we'll likely still see some slightly warmer conditions on the way for us by next week, but temperatures only into the upper 70s possibly by next week. That hourly planner really going to stick into the 60s for most of the day with some gorgeous sunshine by 3 p.m. Back into 5 p.m. and eventually we'll start to see those temperatures cool back down heading towards tonight. But as we look at highs today, upper 60s, really not going to get out of the 60s today as those breezy conditions will continue as well. Overall, looking at Friday night football kicking off tomorrow once again. First quarter will be right around the upper 60s, so pretty cool weather out there for you. So you may need the jacket on the way out to those football games tomorrow. 65 degrees by halftime, and just around fourth quarter and drive home well into the lower 60s. What's ahead, though, we still do have some nice, pleasant fall weather on the way for us, especially for this weekend. I'll be timing out what you can expect for the weekend ahead coming up in just a few minutes. We'll send it back over to you, Brooke.
All right, Matthew, thank you. JCPS is facing the big task of reducing spending by $132 million by next fall. Superintendent Dr. Brian Yearwood said the district will not touch your local tax rates until it gets the budget deficit down to zero. Our Isaiah Kim Martinez explains.
Facing the daunting task of reducing spending by $132 million, JCPS Superintendent Brian Yearwood says they won't touch local tax rates until they get the deficit down to zero.
We will fix this. We'll do it responsibly, with great transparency, and without asking taxpayers for more before we balance our own budget.
JCPS Board Chairman Corey Scholl tells me he's on the same page there.
We have to balance our budget before we can approach the community asking for more money.
Speaking in front of JCPS students and community leaders at the Louisville Forum, Yearwood doubled down that spending cuts need to start at the central office.
The first place we will tighten our belts is at the top, not the classroom.
I asked Scholl whether we could see layoffs in these administrative offices.
I don't know about layoffs, but there certainly will be some organizational chart changes. Certain individuals who may be working at central office currently may be reassigned to other areas that are of higher necessity.
In the classroom?
A variety of roles.
To get a clearer explanation of how a central office shuffle could work, I asked Maddie Shepard, the president of the Jefferson County Teachers Association.
Everybody that works in central office is an educator, and if those positions are eliminated, it would make sense that an educator that doesn't have a job in central office might seek a position in a school or in a classroom.
At the forum, Yearwood was asked about calls from some Kentucky Republicans, like State Representative Jason Nemes, to consider breaking up JCPS into smaller districts.
Representative Nemes, who I respect, has promised me a grace period for the upcoming legislative session, which I appreciate. But that comes with expectations on my part as well.
So we're going to give him a little bit of space to do what needs to be done, and I'm hopeful that he does. If he doesn't, then we're going to have to right-size JCPS, and I've got the votes to do it, and we'll get it done.
So also at that forum, Yearwood was asked about the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights, which recently pulled a $9.7 million grant from JCPS over civil rights violations. Yearwood said that money was aimed at giving more students access to high-quality magnet school options, but the department's Office for Civil Rights said JCPS was unlawfully considering race and discriminated based on the racial makeup of its schools.
What was different this time was OCR's unwillingness to work together at a fair solution through conversation and discussion. It was this way or the highway. There was no chance for discussion, explanation, clarifications.
Yearwood said other school districts are also losing grants based on the same reasoning. This comes as JCPS again is having to make that $132 million spending cut. It is a beautiful start to the Harvest Homecoming Festival, which just kicked off in New Albany at the top of our noon hour. There are contests, food, sports, everything that says fall in southern Indiana. And this will be the first homecoming since a shooting last year that killed 18-year-old Cordon senior Bryce Gerlach and injured 2 others. 5 people were arrested in connection to that shooting, and 2 so far have been sentenced for their roles. Festival organizers are making changes to this year's festival to promote it as family-friendly and weapon-free. There will be an increased police presence, a new security camera system in place, more fencing, and improved lighting downtown. The festival will be closing an hour earlier on Friday and Saturday. There will also not be any amusement rides this year. You can expect to see more from our Ian Hardwitt today during the 4 o'clock newscast. A 15-year-old boy now charged with murder after a man was shot and killed in the Russell neighborhood. That shooting happened just after 7 p.m. on September 28th near the intersection of West Market Street and Dr. W.J. Hodge. The teen was arrested Wednesday. LMPD says it's continuing to investigate. Happening today, former Metro Police Detective Brett Hankison heads to prison. This after a federal judge denied his request to stay out while the appeals process plays out. A federal jury found Hankison guilty of violating Breonna Taylor's civil rights during a 2020 police raid on her home. In July, a judge sentenced him to 33 months in prison, but his attorneys have since been trying to appeal that. As of now, we still do not know where he will be held.